Tutti Frutti Honey Cakes, we're going to do a special mysterious UFO video today. And you're going to like it. You know why? You're my friend. You like, subscribe. I'm going to ask you this question. Do you know who Gary McKinnon is? I'd like to ask you that. You don't know who he is. I'm going to show you who he is, okay? This is Gary. Now, Gary is autistic. Back in 2001, our mate Gary hacked NASA. That's right. The Sky Space dudes. He hacked them from his home in London. This is 2001, 22 years ago. So this autistic dude. Now, I want to let you know, he hacked multiple US government sites. He hacked the military. He hacked, I think, the SEC. He hacked basically everything. He got in. Security wasn't strong back then. The NASA story is the most interesting. So what did he find when he hacked them? I mean, this is going to blow your mind. Okay, he found two things. Firstly, he found their files on alien spaceships. And secondly, he found a deal treaty between aliens, extraterrestrials, and humans. Yes. This is wild. Don't you think, oh, that's a load of bullocks? No. In the UFO history, the UFO law, there was an alleged meeting between Eisenhower and some alien dudes. So you can actually look it up. I know it's very true. So former US President Dwight Eisenhower, he met aliens, I said, at least 3 times in New Mexico, 1954. Now here is Dwighty here, and there are a lot of pictures and stories about it. I know this sounds fascinating. When I first heard this, I was like, okay, someone's smoking some really strong drugs. But no, this is a very consistent message. And you're probably wondering, all right, if they met, what was the reason? You know, I'm like you, friends. I'm like, you know what? You better give me a real good reason why some alien dudes want to meet the president of the USA. And then when I heard the reason, I was like, okay, that makes too much sense now. And the reason was atomic bombs. Now, we don't know the exact specific reason because obviously we don't know how to talk to the alien dudes and we're not on the intel on the inside. But it was to do, most likely, with how America has just been bombing too many things. There are always these rumors that, well, not even real rumors, are scientifically proven now. There's multiple dimensions of reality. So if you're launching nukes, you don't know the impact it's having in other places, other dimensions, which is completely outside of how we perceive time and space itself. So we're basically impacting people. You know, it's literally like you are spilling oil into the ocean and you have no idea that there's fish under there. You have no idea that there's marine life, that there's little stars, you know, there's little starfish going around. So this treaty, I know it's funny. Remember, Gary actually found evidence of this. Now that's completely, like, this is so strange, right? But of course, you know, well, some people say, well, maybe it was a plant by the US government. Maybe they left it there for him to find. When you find out what they try to do to him, you'll know, oh, it must be real, okay? So after he did this, the USA demanded relentlessly to get him extradited and jail him for life, okay? They try to kill him. They want him dead. Okay, listen to this. Watch this.
Stumbled on unedited satellite images of, as he said, out-of-this-world flying objects.
Looked like a satellite. It was cigar-shaped. It had geodesic domes above, below, to the left, to the right, and both ends of.
He failed to download the photos since they were too big, and his dial-up 56K modem was too slow. He even found Excel spreadsheets named Non-Terrestrial Officers, with U.S. Air Force personnel names that didn't exist anywhere. But soon afterwards, things went downhill. He was accused of hacking into 97 U.S. military and NASA computers.
Isn't that wild? So it's crazy to think like, oh my gosh. Now, I don't want to alarm you, but you can actually figure out who's telling the truth by how the government responds. So if you know, friends, I use a lot of code words on this channel. For example, I have to say roca negra, you know. Roca negra is this. I'm writing it now, okay? I am not saying that. Roca negra. I'm not allowed to say that. Why? If you say this too many times, you go sentencing yourself to hell. YouTube shadow bans you. There are also other banned topics, which I'm not going to discuss. For example, there was a certain tower building that fell down by itself. I'm not going to mention the name. I'm sure you've heard of it. There's others as well. There's certain fires out there on an island from a little island you recognize. I'm not allowed to talk about them. There are many others, actually. You speak about them, you get sentenced to 0. They actually take you out. There are also other shadow ban things, so you can tell by the government response. Now, this is where it gets interesting, right? So Gary finds all this. This is where it gets, look at this. So Gary found an online NASA book, and it had 400 testimonials of air traffic controllers who are responsible for handling the USA nuclear weapons. And in it, he was reading some text. Remember, he had a very, very slow internet, as we did back then. Right? They spoke of reverse engineered technology. So this is no secret. It's been going on forever, but they were actually referencing US of A's own reverse engineered tech. I've always had this theory. If you've noticed, sometimes the government, they'll leak stuff, such as they'll let you know, hey, we have alien tech, but we don't know how to reverse engineer it, so don't worry, it's out of this world. And I started noticing, okay, that's very weird. Isn't that exactly what they would want to do for damage control? They tell you, look, we've got this technology that basically sends the price of oil to 0. Because just to let you know, friends, the whole reason why we don't know about this is because of oil. The barrel of oil would literally go to 0. Imagine you made a technology that you can create energy from like water, a cup of water, and you could power your house and your car. You don't need oil at all. And then this basically destroys society as we know it. It's called an ontological shock. Not only would it destroy it, it would make everything implode. GDP would go through the roof. But here's all the issues. Countries we can't control would have access to abundance of energy. And so you can't stop them. For example, stop Iran trying to build more weapons and stuff using their infinite energy source, right? You can't do anything. See you later. So as you can see, there's a lot of issues if this gets introduced too fast. You know what Gary also found? This is funny. Gary found unedited photos from NASA. They had an edited photo section. So this is a common thing now that we all know. NASA edits their photos. I'm not sure if you know this. It's like 100% confirmed. So NASA, just to let you know, not only have they edited Earth, they've removed random objects from their pictures, but they've also done huge things. They've edited photos of the moon from the dark side of the moon. This is like, there's been people being leaked out. I don't want to let you know this, okay? The dude who leaked out that NASA is editing photos from the dark side of the moon because there are alien structures there, he mysteriously got killed 2 weeks before he was gonna give another speech conference and go mainstream. So he did give a speech about it. He literally just mysteriously developed this, random illness just killed me in 2 weeks. It is funny. You want to laugh or cry. Like, how are you meant to take anything seriously when, like, every single time there's a conspiracy, you're like, oh, well, golly gee, it's just a coincidence. Just all these people with all this information just suddenly wind up dead in 2 weeks. Just cheat. I'm not kidding. They do give you, just to let you know, okay, they do give you an aggressive form of cancer that can kill you in anywhere between 2 weeks and 2 months. This is confirmed 100%. The CIA have it. They can use different types of different poisons that they can do. Lead poisoning, uranium poisoning. I don't know what it is, okay? Obviously, if we knew, you probably can't even Google it, to be honest. But yes, there are these super advanced forms of ways that can like really accelerate tumor growth in you. And they do it. They do it on people in jail. So there have been famous cases of people who are going to become eyewitnesses to CIA leaks and all these. And then in jail, they'll develop like a hyper-aggressive kidney cancer or a liver cancer. And they're gone in like 2 months. Finished. So all these backdrops. See, when you read one of these, you think, okay, wait a minute. You found some alien ships. There's reverse engineered tech. There's edited photos. If you read them by themselves, you think, all right, well, there's nothing going on here. It's just a lunatic. But then you think, wait a minute. How can 100 years of information and leaks and all these thousands of people, how can they all be lying? They're not all lying, man. Even if 99% of them are lying, that's still 1% of like 15,000. It's like 150 people telling the truth. All right. It gets a bit more interesting too, right? So Gary got access to one of their Microsoft Excel spreadsheets. I know it's very funny. That's what everyone was using, right? They're still using. So one of them was titled Non-Terrestrial Officers, which is basically confirming that, look, there was some sort of treaty deal. They say, I know this is crazy. Apparently, the US of A president had some sort of treaty with the aliens. They probably said, hey, let's do some sort of meeting. We don't know what they wanted to trade. Okay, there's always these rumors, friends. Everyone takes always the super extreme case. So some people, they believe we were willing to exchange humans. They think it's an exchange like so dangerous for the public to know that it would like make everybody go into hysteria. And that's why we've never heard about it, right? We're never going to know the truth. But that would be the worst case. Imagine they said, well, look, you're allowed to take a couple of humans, but can you give us some tech? Oh, imagine being the dude who's going to make that trade. You're like, look, there's like 6 billion people on Earth. Just hand over like 100 to sacrifice them so we can get the alien tech. Think about it. Doesn't sound so bad, does it? You're sacrificing a couple of humans to progress humanity. It's wild. All right. These non-terrestrial officers, maybe they were communicating to us. Maybe they help spy on humans. Don't forget, friends, remember, we always think we're the zookeeper. No, we're the animals in the zoo. They're the zookeepers. Funny. You know those non-terrestrial officers? The names and ranks of the people in there, they are not registered anywhere. They technically don't exist. Wild. Wild times. He also found information about ship-to-ship transfers. And guess what? Those ships don't exist either. That's why, man, everything is black book, friends. That's why crypto really does change the world, because they make everything transparent as you can. And, wow, this is crazy, right? All these off-chain stuff. Look at this. So Gary McKinnon's picture. On his own, hacked NASA computers, found evidence suggesting US alien collaboration. Fallout and aftermath were dealt with publicly. So this is why you're probably wondering, hey, my friend told me, if this is all true, he'd be dead, man. He's a problem for them. If the deep state are going to come after you, they're coming after you because you're making the issue too much in the media. Now, if you go public, then they know they have to back off. That's the only way for you to stay hidden. You actually got to hide in plain sight. Gary said the US military wanted to have military dominance of space. By the way, this is 2001. He did this in 2001. He was saying this. It's exactly what we're seeing today. 20 years later, they want dominance over space. You have Elon Musk's satellites. You have all these things going on. You have so many things to suggest that all of this is happening. He got arrested in 2002. They raided his home. They stole his hard drive and then sent it to the USA. He was never able to get anything back, of course, and they threatened him. So as soon as I heard this, I was like, okay, so it was all real. He was all real. It wasn't even a fake trap. By the way, they tried to jail him for 70 years. The government also made it impossible for him to find a job. So this poor autistic guy can't get a job, right? In the rainy UK, London. Let's try and take him to zero. So literally, Gary was almost a dead man. Here he is on the classical chair, folding his arms. Very, very disgruntled. Look what happened. This blew my mind. Pink Floyd, you know, their rock band, right? Pink Floyd made a song to mention him. Why? They were trying to extradite him. It became too popular. The USA wanted to take him down, take this guy to zero, make sure he never ever talks ever again, send him to jail. They had famous people talking about him, let him go, and guess what? The UK government weren't listening. Well, obviously we know, friends, like Australia, UK, US, Canada, New Zealand, they're part of the Five Eyes. So they have like these very public, not even secret, public treaty where they all look after each other. And it's to basically spy on each other's citizens. So just to let you know, so you ever wonder, like, how does USA spy on their own citizens? What they do is they send their information to another tower, like, for example, in Australia. And then when they want to spy, they'll spy on you from Australia. It's just a loophole. So basically, it's like them. If they want to spy on you, they'll connect to my computer and then they'll go spy on you. It's just that it's coming from my computer. You know, this is so absurd. This is actually true. This is 100% true. This goes around the loophole because you're not allowed to spy on your own citizens. So yeah, okay, but no, but it's not us spying. It's the Aussies, the Australians who are spying on us. How was he able to get out of this? Theresa May, ex-UK Prime Minister, blocked the extradition and helped him stay in the country. Saved him from imminent death. You're probably wondering, like, why did she just let him go after everyone, all the politicians wanted him out? Well, like I told you, all right, it became too popular. They knew if they turned this guy into a martyr, we're all going to make the issue 1,000 times bigger. And they knew, hey, just let him go. Let him be quiet. That's it. So, I mean, it was very fascinating, wasn't it? Gary, autistic, on the spectrum. All right. Remember, he did hack other US government offices too. So it wasn't some plot where he just went after NASA. It's just that the NASA stuff was the most interesting. Something about NASA, right? NASA is rumored to be part of the globalist agenda. Many people who are like in tune with like the global elites, I've been hearing for so long that NASA is at the core of being Satan itself. NASA. And I'm like, NASA, the space dudes, they do a lot of evil things. I had no idea. You just think there's some like science nerds in the background. No. Makes sense when you think about it, because if the future involves this super high-tech space stuff and NASA's got the smartest scientists and they have to protect that with their lives, because America took all the Nazi scientists after World War II, 2,500 of them. And man, did they make some amazing things. Some really super-powered rockets. A lot of advancements have actually come from those Nazi scientists, the German scientists. It's kind of marvelous to even think about. I've also heard terms of breakaway civilization with NASA leaks. And I think this refers to just another civilization on Earth, live by their own rules, do their own thing. Some even say, this is crazy, we don't know who to believe though. Some even say they travel outside of Earth. They travel either interdimensional or to another planets. So, but you don't know, friends, because all this information come out. We know what the government does for PsyOps. They'll tell you the truth and they'll spread like 15 pieces of lies around you. So that's why what you always find is when you go through all this CIA stuff, the stuff at the beginning is usually true. But then as you start to go deeper and more detailed, you just increase the probability that you're dealing with extra fluff details that the CIA have thrown in just to throw everybody off. Because then you're like, oh, golly gee, I don't know what to believe, you know? But the truth is, the concept is what you believe in. You go, okay, aliens are real. Maybe there was some sort of treaty. That's it. You know what I mean? And then you go from there. But I thought it was fascinating to see all this play out. So there you go, friends. Make sure you like, subscribe, belly button, and all. Can't wait to bring you even more juicy content coming up soon. Catch you in the next one.